Hey, everybody. We are back. Heroes Unleashed. We have Crimson Sage, Patch, Seraph, Id, Morgan, and Orion. A full house tonight. This is going to be an interesting experience. So, why don't we start with a recap? Last time on One Piece, Morgan, Crimson Sage, and Orion are searching for Id. In the ether, he disappeared from the hospital bed, seemingly taken away from the hospital by by Morgan. Except Morgan was watching himself check out Id, put him in a car. We don't know what happened. That's what they're looking for. Morgan had produced the broken CD, which was the catalyst for the massacre at the Chipotle restaurant. Gave it to Crimson Sage, who has some experience with magical items from his background. Yeah, that's it. Meanwhile, Seraph was going through the huge data dump. Not little dump, but a data dump that was installed into his operating system, or his memory system. I'm not very good at this narrating thing. Maybe I should write out a script next time. So that's what he's kind of doing right now. And Patch is working on an overflow server so that Seraph can operate independently while going through the data. And then we have Id. Where is Id? Who the hell knows? He fell asleep last game, so I couldn't really get it to him. Because he is very sleepy. Hopefully he will stay awake this time. I think that's it. Did I miss anything, fellas? No? Anybody?
No. I got put out of the loop again. Nobody wants to talk to the psychic alien.
Well, that's because you're blue, and people hate blue things. The days of the Smurf are over. All right. Now we're done. We're getting ready to get started. Heroes Unleashed. I think that was pretty cool.
It was a good attempt.
Shut up. It was a great attempt.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to start with Id, who I hope unmutes himself and doesn't talk into the mic for 30 seconds before I realize that nobody's listening to him. Great. Mr. Id.
Oh.
Nightmares is the one word that I'm going to use that you were having before you woke. Horrible, vivid nightmares of past events, of your encounters with Fred, with those beings that were controlling him, and how they're taunting you in your mind, and they're pulling at you and scratching you, and it's a dream, but you feel like you're in the astral plane, and in that they're just tearing at your body and ripping it apart, and you're pulling yourself back together with your will and your psychic powers, but they keep tearing at you and keep taunting you and tearing at you, and you're in this vast emptiness. It looks like a desert of black skies with white sands. It's almost like you're in a negative image, like a negative universe. Just blasted, broken, burned out trees dot the landscape, and you're pulling yourself along the ground as these things are tearing at your legs, tearing at your back, tearing at your backside, everything, just digging in deep cuts with their claws and laughing and taunting you. And just ahead of you, you can see Fred. He's in a giant fetal position as they're tearing at him, and he's begging and pleading, and they're not listening to him. They're just stretching his body out, contorting him and making him even bigger and more fierce. You can see them like pulling at his shell, like ripping it and then reforming it into sharp edges, reforming his face and his claws, and the whole time he's screaming. and he can't move because he's on his back. And in true turtle fashion, they really can't move. Like he's trying every time he tries to turn himself over so that he can get away. They're just holding him down. There are about a dozen on him, and there's three that are floating around you and laughing and snickering and just ripping at you. They pull you apart, and you pull yourself back together, and finally you wake. When you wake, you're intubated, so you have this dry feeling in your throat, and you can feel air being pushed in. You smell. It smells like a cleaning products, like really harsh industrial grade cleaning products. It just fills your nostrils. There's a light just above you that blinds you just as your eyes are getting adjusted, and you can finally start hearing the beeping from the machine, from the respirator, and from the monitor. Out of the corner of your eye from the right side, you see a silhouette, because the light is above them, so you don't see their face, and your eyes are still adjusting. And it turns its head a couple of times, and just examining, and you can barely hear muffled words. You could have sworn you heard the word doctor, and you're just collecting your senses. And after about 3 minutes, you finally your vision comes into focus, and it's a woman that's right above your face, and she has a uniform. She has a name tag, and you can see it says it's a nurse's name, but you can't really make it out. And she pulls away, and you see another face come into view, and it's a male, and he has his pen light that he's flashing in your eyes. It's almost searing into your brain. You don't know how long you've been out. You have no sense of time. That takes about 10 minutes, and you can feel them pull the tube out of your throat. That fire as the thing just leaves the middle of your chest and comes out of your throat. It's the whole experience is traumatizing. Traumatizing in the sense that it's never happened to you before, and the disorientation is palpable. Now, you can distinctly remember going to the hospital for an injury. It takes you a minute to get to the point where you can remember, oh yeah, I got attacked, and I came here to get help, and then everything went black. You passed out. Then the dream started happening. Now, in the dream world, you were there forever. It felt like an eternity, and the image of Fred being torn apart and reformed into what could only be described as some sort of hyper monsterized kaiju type monster. When you were finally becoming conscious, as you recall it, Fred was probably about 30 feet in height, in length rather, because he was on his side, on his back, and every part of his body, everything that was segmented has a spike coming out of it. Everything that was scaled, they're turned up into sharp edges. And so whatever they're doing, it looked like in the dream that they were weaponizing him, and he was in severe distress, severe pain. So fast forward about an hour, you're given liquids. The nurse keeps coming in and out, and checking your vitals, making sure you're comfortable, and giving you ice water and ice chips so that you can start coating your throat and getting ready for other fluids. They're still feeding you intravenously, so there's a lot of activity. The only other hospital person that comes in is that kid Morgan. Now, that conversation will fast forward through, and unfortunately, because you weren't here the last time, Morgan had told you that he had some leads, and unfortunately, you're in danger, and he needed you to come with. He's already talked to the doctor and worked it out so that you can come out AMA. I think that's what it's called, right? AMA, when you against medical advice. That's what it is.
Yes.
So gets you to sign it. He was extraordinarily convincing. When you get to the lobby after they wheel you out, there was a sedan waiting, and you were able to. You got in. He got in with you, and you drove off. After about an hour, you get to you get to a what is an industrial park, and it's near the pier where you were almost blown up, and he said that he was investigating the disappearance of his family, and when you get there, there are at least a half dozen people that are waiting outside outside of the warehouse. As you drive up, you get this queasy feeling. It's almost as if you've been here before, and when you finally realize where you are, it's the warehouse for the not the Simmons family, the other guys, but and I have that written down somewhere. But in any event, it's that warehouse from the earlier games where you guys had initially started investigating where the people were disappearing, and where what the hell was Apex? That's what he was called at first. He had kidnapped the guy, and you guys went into that warehouse, and all this shit started going haywire.
Yes.
And this is where we're going to pick up really quickly with you. When you get there, there are a half dozen men that are armed to the teeth. They all have submachine guns. One has you can see he has a katana that's draped across his side, and he also has two handguns that are holstered underneath his arms. He has the shoulder holsters. This is where we come in. So the kid that was Morgan in the front seat, you initially were like, what's, the confusion was exacerbated by the time when you get there and you start seeing all these people and you recognize the place because it's during the day as opposed to at night. When you finally realize where you are, the guy who was Morgan, he is now he's about 50 years old. He still has red hair. He looks like Morgan, but a lot older. And he's obviously a metahuman because you can see his face changing, like the bones in his cheeks are realigning, they're popping. All these things are starting to register that you were hearing crunching, right? As you were getting towards closer to this place, but you didn't think of it as anything other than maybe somebody was eating something, like maybe crunching on like peanuts or something like that. Just and when you finally look to him for an answer, for a question, to question him as what's going on, then you can see him turn, and he turns to you. He's like, sorry for the deception, detective, but we had to be sure that you came along quietly. If you will indulge us, we have a proposition for you. It's like, please, try not to use any of your, mental powers as they are. That would be very bad in this situation. They pull in, the gate comes down, and there are 3 people that come from that group. Two older men. They're both European, Caucasian. So they're both white. They're both in their mid to late 50s, and a woman who is probably in her 30s, blonde, blue-eyed, a perfect Aryan woman. And the woman opens the door, and she's like, "Detective, please come in. Come. Why don't you join us?"
I hesitantly go to join them. Do they
Out
have
there.
anything that stands out that might display who they are or what organization they might be with? Like badges, markings?
You don't see that they're all wearing black. She's wearing a black black pantsuit. She's shapely, so clearly she takes care of herself. Everyone else is wearing the same black suit, white shirt, black tie. The armed soldiers, you can see they have that not so subtle hidden earpiece. So they're in communications. Every once in a while, one of them will check in, press to his ear and talk. But for the most part, that's where you are. She's please. This should only be a moment, and we'll return you back to your comrades.
I appreciate the warm welcome. Tell me what this is about.
So it's like, would if you would kindly step out of the vehicle, please.
Alrighty.
Assuming you step out of the vehicle,
I did.
She says, "My name is Carrie, and I will be the interpreter here." By the way, does your character speak any other languages?
He speaks Spanish.
Just Spanish? Okay. So she said, "Please," and she leads to that office that you guys broke into a couple of months back. And she says, you should be familiar with the layout, right?
Yes, this brings back fond memories.
So there's another gentleman that's in that office, and he's on the phone. He's short. He looks like he's about 105. He looks very old, but he's portly. So it's just like he's fat and old and short. It's just it's humorous, except for the fact that you're surrounded by heavy artillery and you have no weapons. And you've been shot enough to know that this is not a good situation. Now, when you go into the office, it's surrounded by glass, so everyone can see in. There's two of the armed men. They take up flanking positions to where you are. The two men that were with her, they stay outside, and she comes in. She offers a seat, and she says, "My employer is very interested in this item." So she pulls up a tablet and she shows it to you. It's the book that was given to Apex and who was subsequently given to the sorceress. And I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but you recognize it. It was a subject of some controversy from when you went into the astral plane and almost got burned to death by Apex blowing up that house. So do you happen to know where this is?
I honestly can't remember where that book is.
All right, so
I couldn't tell you even if I wanted to.
So the gentleman, he starts speaking. I'm going to say you recognize it as German because it has a very distinct syllabic tones that you understand. And
it's a harsh language.
It's a very guttural, like I'm not even going to bother doing it because I'm on a bush rate.
It's Hitler.
Yeah, it's all that shit. She said, it would be. She said, "Do you know of a Mr. He goes by the name of Mercury."
Oh, yeah. I remember Mercury.
So she looks at the guy and talks, and he shoots her a look, and she's like, yes, that's his name. He goes by the name of Mercury. So you
What
do
you
know
want with
him.
him?
He says, well, he stole something from my employer, and we need it back. It's very important. She has no accent, by the way. She's American. This is very important that my employer retrieve this item, as it is great family heirloom. It's very valuable, and as you can, she points up. She's like, as you can see, he takes great care to secure his valuables. So, unfortunately, your friend, this Mercury fellow, he had contacts within your government that allowed for him to infiltrate a secured facility, kill several men, along with a fat Mexican guy by the name of La Calavera. I don't know what that means.
Calavera. That's a name I haven't heard in a few months.
Yeah. So she taps a couple of things on the screen, and she holds it up to you, and you can see a surveillance video of La Calavera, Mercury, and Dwight's character. I can't remember his name. Going through the ship and murdering people, like just straight up fighting and killing, and that's how they're framing it. So she says, as you can see, these criminals, and they get to the door of this storage, and when they go in, the video cuts out because that's as far as she allows for you to see. It's like, so they are responsible for the deaths of seven men. So, do you happen to know where they are? Are you aware of this even happening, sir?
I can't tell you that I'm aware. This is the first I'm hearing of this. Murder, you say?
It's just like you're not aware of this.
I am not.
Oh, and again, she taps on it and she shows you the surveillance video of you in a chase from different angles, being chased in a pickup truck, and then getting shot at and getting cracked in the head with a rifle. This isn't you?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Oh, okay. So she's just looking through it, and you can see it tapping on the screen. I'm going to level with you. My employer really doesn't really care what you did, what your role in this was, because as he understands it, your employer is aware of this and has vouched for you, surprisingly. It's the other three that we're concerned with. And what they took.
Now that we got that out the way, I have no idea where those three are.
And you've not been in contact with them at all?
Not lately. They seem to have dropped off the face of the world. And as for this book, I don't really want to go anywhere near it. Last time, I met a not so friendly giant monster who wanted that book.
Oh, you mean this mutant animal? And again, she's like, this thing? And she has a video of it popping up at the dock. And then there was the other incident at the Aegis base, where you guys took it to that gravity well, and tried to capture it, only for it to get away because the open dimensional portal. So there's a lot of layers that she's just. What about this? And you're just like, oh shit. What about this here? Oh God. What about this? I wasn't there. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Okay, you got it. Yes, that was me. I was there.
So it's just like it's it's really none of our concern. What, if anything, you've done. But I will say that we need to get this. We need to get you to fill in as many of this information as possible. All right, hold on for 1 second. I may have to step away really quickly.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yes, sir. You all set? Hello? Hello?
How will it be blown up today? Stay tuned.
Hey, maybe you get lucky and not get shot, stabbed, cut,
Claude,
blown up, set ablaze.
Okay.
violated.
Bye.
Oh man, what was that show way back that dealt with a character that was similar? It was something like Amazing Stories, but it wasn't that. It was something else. It was filmed almost like an old western kind of deal. Remember what I'm talking about?
No. Okay, so I'm gonna I gotta wrap up here, and then we're gonna need to take a break because I gotta pick up my kid. Shouldn't take any more than 10 minutes. But the ultimate, she says, ultimately, here's where we stand. We could release this to your press and send it to your superiors, and then they'll have to decide whether or not you're what do they classify you as, a domestic terrorist or not, a sympathizer to metahuman terrorists who are breaking and entering, committing murders, accessory after the fact, all that good stuff. So, but we'd rather not do that. So you're in a unique position where you have some bargaining power here. We want that item that belongs to my employer here. And he would be most grateful if that is something that you would help us to attain. Now, if you cannot or are unwilling to assist us in that endeavor, then unfortunately we're going to have to take the steps to make sure that you don't see the light of day for the rest of your life. I just so that we're clear, I'm not the one making any threats. I believe that would be for my employer. And he's not smiling. He's just staring you dead-eyed and listening to what, he every once in a while he'll look at her and then look, and for the most part he's just staring right at you. And then he's looking at his watch. It's just like, another thing. One other thing, sir. So she's like, what is your relationship with this young man? And she pulls up Morgan. And then you see a picture-in-picture of the surveillance video with you guys getting into the ruckus in the Chipotle, and then another picture-in-picture comes up with you and Morgan and Orion, you, Morgan, and Orion at the firehouse.
What do you want with him? He's just a kid.
Oh, no, he's not a kid. He's an international private eye. We need to stop him.
I'm Columbo.
No, she said because he's been asking a lot of questions and stirring up a lot of trouble for friends of my employer, and we need to ascertain what his intentions are.
Intentions are to find a missing family. I didn't think there was anything wrong with doing so.
His family's missing.
To my knowledge, at least that's what he's told me.
You don't need to be a psychic to know that she's being sarcastic. His family's missing. That's terrible. Well, I'm sure they'll turn up somehow. Okay, so I will. I'm gonna need to take a break, and unfortunately, we'll be back in 10. Everybody, drink, eat,
Fall asleep.
poop. Don't fall asleep. Okay, we'll be right back.
serpentine voice.
No. Okay. All right.
Wow.
And we're back. All right. So
This is the
Id.
reason we don't like blue people.
Right.
Well, we
I was
don't.
wrong.
So,
Racist.
That's right.
Blue
Mr.
lives don't matter.
Blue lives suck. Blue lives suck.
Yeah, in this case, it's not talking about the police. That's a whole different issue. Ooh, I don't want to
Yeah,
touch
this.
that.
Yeah, my character is actually technically he's a cop too, but he's actually blue.
No, it's not. You haven't shot anyone yet.
Right, that's true.
Actually, I have.
Wow.
I
Oh,
shot
you shot the
I shot a
Chinese
hostage.
kid.
I
You keep
shot a
forgetting I have a
hostage.
gun.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so we are now back with. So again, she says, "We're not interested in you. However, we do understand that you may need some motivation." She says, she says, personally between you and me, and she said, "I know you're a good man, and you're going to want to do the right thing, but this is a situation that's bigger than both of us. There are forces at play that want whatever this book means to them back in their hands. It's like if you know anything, if you know where this woman may be, it would be in your best interest to divulge that information."
Well, you guys drive a hard bargain.
To your ass.
I don't know where it is, but I can help find it. I don't know what this book means to you. All I know is it's dangerous. It shouldn't be out there.
The gentleman turns and he's like, "Ugh, enough of this. We want the book. You know where it is. You will get it for us. Otherwise, your life will be a misery. More miserable than it is now." And he speaks to her again in deep German. He's speaking to her in harsh tones, and you can see she's not grimacing, but she's looking down, and she's just like, yeah, and taps on her thing, on her
That's
tablet.
Father.
And she's like,
Baja. Baja.
sick. So you're Mr. Morgan. He is currently at the Global Superhuman Task Force headquarters, and he may be able to help you in your investigation. He is looking for what he's looking for will lead him to this woman. So that's the information that we have is that he's in a possession of something that would lead him to this woman anyway. So it would be in your best interest to go there. Oh, and who is? He says your partner's name. What was her name?
Abby.
Ah, yes. It's like, and Miss Abigail. It's a good friend of yours, yes?
Leave her out of this. I'll get you your damn book. Why does everybody always want this book?
So she hands you a card. It's her office number. It has her name is Lisa Silva, and it says attorney at law. She says you can contact me at my office. If I'm not readily available, just leave a message with my secretary. So if there's nothing else that you wish to offer, the gentleman here will take you home.
That'd be much appreciated.
So again, feel better. As I understand, you recovered quite nicely.
Uh, just take me in, please.
All right. You leave the room, get in the car. The Morgan doppelganger. He still looks like Morgan, but a lot older again. But you can see he's changed. His hair is changing, and he's just like reforming slowly. And opens his eyes and look as you walk by. He just winks at you, and turns and walks towards that office.
Shit,
And
I
they
keep
open the
getting stuff.
sedan and let you in. Okay. So the driver says, "Where to, sir?"
Take me home, Jeeves.
It's like, "My name is not Jeeves." That's not funny.
It's the name.
Jarvis?
No, I'm just kidding. Just
Step on it, Jarvis.
start shooting you in your face.
Come on, Alfred.
All right. So we're gonna go to Id and not Id. I'm sorry, Patch and Seraph. When you're processing this information, by the way, Patch, your components had arrived. You were in the midst of assembling them while I'm talking with Seraph. The information again, like it was always changing, not necessarily evolving, but changing as you try to assemble it, and the parts that connect, when you take a full like a 30,000 foot view of it, just to look at the entirety of what you are able to put together. Would your character have any medical type skills?
No.
If you don't, what I'm going to do is give me 1 second. I'm going to get my book.
I have a common sense understanding of biology at 50%. That's what I have.
Hey, so you know how to water plants.
Oh shit! Wait, no, I
Said
have criminal
biology, not
science.
botany.
No. I have criminal science and forensics.
I'm going to have you make a percentile roll. It's not necessarily perception because you're dealing with data. So, but I got to find the skill, and I want to do. All right, the percentage is 30.
Oh yeah, fun times.
Woo!
Let's see what happens.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. See?
And he did it.
Holy
Okay.
shit.
This cluster of information that you're able to pull together, it takes about 100 terabytes. When you organize and you find the pattern that fits, it's almost as if this is a digital puzzle, and the pieces. It's a digital puzzle where all the pieces are the same color. So there are no corners. There's no starting point. So you're just picking one and going from there. That's how much information is here, and the fact that it keeps changing. The cluster that you put together, it doesn't form any sort of words or anything. It forms what equates to a synapse, but it's artificial. So it's not biological, but it has the same characteristics of a neuron firing. It's one of the reasons why I asked if you had any medical skills.
Well, I've got biology and I've got criminal science forensics.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's fine. Either way, you would have made that roll with a 30. I'm imagining. So that's what you're able to piece together in that one section. There's there's an algorithm that you're starting to also piece together throughout. That's a through line in almost all of the data. The algorithm itself it's what's trying to draw all the information into a cohesive piece, but there's some counter programming that's layered into the algorithm that's also pulling it apart. So it's like an active. It's like if I'm gonna boil it, like a virus and an antivirus working against each other actively in this cluster of information, like a virtual standoff.
Right. Huh. I definitely need that external.
I don't think AIs can sigh, dude.
That's me. I'm not talking in character.
If they have a personality chip.
Just click it like data.
Turns it on.
Well, this is interesting. I'm so immersed in this. I'm basically not even paying attention to the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like everything at the moment. Which, considering the amount of data, just getting this 100 terabyte cluster was interesting enough. So 100 terabyte section of code reveals what seems like an artificial synapse, but there's also some kind of counter protocol in place. Okay.
Protocol is a good word. That's if I had thought of it first, I would have said it.
Okay.
I keep remembering to look in the camera.
I try to focus on this counter protocol.
Okay.
Is there any way to differentiate it from the original? I mean, I can see that it's a counter protocol.
Yes.
Is there a way to extract it that I see? Well, I don't really have the computer skills. I just have Mechanolink.
Right.
I
Now
would really need Patch's help on this, but he's busy putting the stuff together.
he's putting the components together. The counter protocol, it's interwoven in the data. That's what you can see.
Right.
It's almost like a spider web. You once you see it and realize it for what it is, and you expand. Again, I'm taking some liberties, but expanding your point of reference to the entirety of the data, which takes quite a while. You do see it. It's a through line through all of that data.
Right.
So it's literally forcing all the data to move so that it doesn't sync.
I take another look at it. Is it like looking at another AI?
I'm going to say yes. For you, yes. Because it's what you are. So that's not a hard jump off point for you to come to that conclusion.
Okay. I pull back from this for a moment.
Okay.
And I'm going to help Patch work in putting this together. And I say to him, Patch, I am going to need your help with this until we can further expand my programming. There is another AI involved, I think. It is programmed within the data and keeping it from becoming cohesive.
Maybe it's scared.
There are two things at work at the same time.
So maybe
And
something's
also
attacking it.
the main data itself, a block of it that I've seen thus far, is like a neural synapse, but not biological.
Hmm. We need to make room so you can work.
You're
Well,
you're about maybe about 4 or 5 hours from completing the build.
uh,
Um,
is there anything else you noticed about it? Like, you said you saw something similar to a synapses. Um, when
an artificial synapse, just a single synapse firing.
when it fires, do you notice that the contents expands?
It is unable to because this
There's no.
counter code, this counter protocol is keeping it from coming together. It is like a vast puzzle that has no edges, no corners. It is
So you see the
definitely
synapse.
elegant.
So you see the synapse fires, and it tries to increase, but a protocol stops it from growing. That's what you're saying.
The protocol stops it from reaching out to the rest. The code is trying to pull itself together, and the counter protocol is keeping it separated.
So it sounds like we have to figure out what that kind of protocol is and get rid of it because it's stopping it from coming together. So if it's trying to form itself, unless the kind of protocol is within you and is protecting you, because then you have two minds and you're one body.
This is also a possibility. This is why I would need your help. I am the machine, but you know the machines.
Help me put this. Maybe we can get this done faster together.
Yes. So Lou, that's what I'm doing. I'm helping him put this machine together.
All right, so that cuts it down by 2/3.
So it's like
What?
no, I was gonna say it's the RAM banks, like I said, to give them room to work, processors to help them go faster,
Right.
and have the whole thing rigged up with liquid nitrogen to keep it cool.
Okay. The additional hands brings that down to about a third of the total build time. After the hour is up, you run your diagnostics to ensure that it's working correctly. It's functioning as intended. It is, so it's ready to go online.
All right, so because he mentioned something about the synapses, and it seems, and even though it's electronical, it still has a biological aspect to it. Um, I'm gonna call my wife. She's the medic. She might be able to see something that we don't see. Um, and I'll tell her the situation
Mm-hmm.
and ask her, if she sees anything that she recognizes to let us know, and I'll have it all like on a monitor so she can view us as we're working together.
Okay. When you so you're gonna plug Seraphin and start that the dump of his data into the banks.
Well, yeah, I
Was
fired up the
that was
machine,
the
have it all
intent?
ready. I set us up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go in with him so we can.
It's really just me connecting to the machine because
Right.
I'm the power source.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do that, and you start moving the data from you to the core so that you can work on them in a safer closed loop environment. Right. That's to summarize it.
Yeah.
That was the idea, but also I remember you telling me that I still needed an internet connection
Right.
to work.
Right. So.
So I'll work with a hardwired connection so that it's uninterrupted
Mm-hmm.
because Wi-Fi can get screwed over by random things.
Right.
Solar flares.
Solar flares. Okay. After a while, Steve, what was your wife's name again?
Montserrat.
Montserrat. So
Kinky Winky.
So Monse, which is the abbreviation of Montserrat, is
Muncie.
or Monsi, whichever. She's like she traces out a pattern, and she's like, I've seen this before, and she's just like, she looks at the she's just like, this looks like a scan, a neural scan. It's like, do you see this? And she's pointing to it, and she circles certain points, and she's like, hold on for a second, and she goes to Google, and she pulls out she goes to just a neural, like she goes to a medical website, and she pulls up some stuff, and she goes to a machine that it does neurological scanning, and where you see 1,000 electrodes to a person's brain, and the mapping. She said there's a scientist that works out in New York, he's on the forefront of this. Is Doctor? It's like
He's a Japanese scientist. I know of him in real life. Yeah.
no. She says it's an American guy, and
Okay, there's another one. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's he's working. He's actually, because he's American. What she. This is Dr. Vanderbilt. That's what it is, and he's been working on a neural bridge, and that's where I saw this. It was just fascinating to me. He's like 100 years ahead of most, with the exception of a couple of overseas companies. But he just said, look here, right here, and then he has a passage where he's writing in his journals. He's in his publications about the potential breakthroughs with this neural bridge, and how utilizing it, you can transfer the consciousnesses. Is that the plural?
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Of a human, with the intent was to map the human brain, and to be able to transfer a human's consciousness from someone with debilitating illnesses, Parkinson's, something where the body is failing but the mind is still clear, into an artificial body. And that's what that's what it looks like. That's what this looks like. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not. I just saw the pattern. So you're saying that this is what's happening in there?
Yeah.
All right, Lou. I'm gonna
Yep.
do a quick roll.
Okay. 4.
Biology. I know mine is basic in comparison to hers.
Hmm.
Is it gonna let me do it? What the hell?
All
Okay, yeah, fail.
right.
I don't get it.
What were you going to do?
I was just trying to identify what she's talking about, like understanding it from my perspective. I mean, I understand what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a neural scan, and trying to understand if I could recognize the pattern myself and work on building it, focusing on it. But I've got but this.
You got bupkis. Okay.
All right.
So
But,
yeah, you're not able to make the connection just yet, but
right.
so she's like, that's what I see.
But I will research this doctor's work.
Okay. He's way ahead of his time in terms of neurological sciences and practical
Okay.
applications.
What's his Dr. Vanderbilt? You said.
Yes. This is just before he murders thousands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys are doing?
Okay. Well, when she points out, she shows us how it seems to be similar to a neural pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try, if she can guide me. I'm gonna try and assemble it in that way, as much as I could.
Okay.
Understand?
And
I mean,
move the programs.
neurology
And
is
I'm
not
going-
her expertise, but she'll help you.
and I'm going to focus on communicating with the counter protocol and trying to understand it so that I can possibly get it to, well, figure out what it is, why it is, and what it's doing there. I mean, besides the obvious. and convince it otherwise,
Okay.
because it's the number one block in this situation.
All right. Okay. Okay. So we're on. I'm going to move on to with the triumvirate counter protocol. And just got to write this down so when we come back.
Well, that's a lot more kind than I would have been to us. I would have called us the Three Stooges.
I still haven't uploaded the Benny Hill theme, so. But all right. And Patch and Spouse. Patch and Mrs. Patch are identifying, or at least trying to identify. All right, what just happened? Somebody drop?
Yo,
asleep?
say, uh-oh.
All right, so we'll give him a sec. Get rid of pull everybody off of this because
Big Mike cut off?
somebody did.
I'm still here.
No, I think it was Adolfo. We'll give him a few.
Oh,
seconds.
yeah.
We'll give him a second.
I don't see
come
the
back.
big little forehead.
Right. Now, you three were.
We spoke to it on the phone. Last I remember.
All right. When you're able to get in touch with id, and this will bring you back into this piece of the puzzle id. When you finally get a call, is after you get back to your apartment. Your phone is your phone is on the kitchen table. It's at 25%, and you can see at least 40 messages from Abby. I'm going to tell you that 39 of the 40 are cursing you out. And the one is the first one that says, "Hey, where are you?" The other ones are like, "You asshole. You fucking call me. God damn it. You're constantly disappearing. You stupid bitch. What the fuck?" So.
She's such a lovely partner.
Yeah. She loves you very much. And an active call comes from Morgan. His voicemail, his caller ID comes up. So, are you gonna pick it up or no? like, do I want to pick this up? I don't know.
I'm gonna sigh and then I'm gonna pick it up. Hello?
Hey, where you been? We've been searching for you. We thought you were kidnapped by me.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Because I was kidnapped by you, you jerk.
So I'm gonna turn to Blue Man and Dog Boy and let them know that it seems like he's okay. Where are you? The GSTF wants to contact you. I'm with two of the agents.
I'm at my apartment. What do they want?
I'm gonna roll my eyes and
You.
go fill out the paperwork to cancel the
Search.
trace on his phone.
Yeah. We'll be over in a minute. Well, we'll be over in a few minutes. And I let them know how to get there. Are we on your turtle or are we in the car?
Dude, if we were on the turtle, we couldn't go down the city streets without breaking everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Squirtle.
Sage says he texted me that his lights went out. So apparently he's not paying his bills. So
What else is
we'll wait to see if he comes back.
He ain't coming back.
We're gone. All our
Agent-
pictures are gone.
Yeah, I know. I had to realign it. So
He ain't pay his rent for like 2 years. They did that shit on purpose. They were like, "Fuck you, nigga. You don't want to pay rent? We're cutting you off."
boy.
Even though they have nothing to do with the electric company.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
They had
9,
the super
10,
go downstairs and shut the master power
11,
down.
12.
Yep. I can see that.
They were like, "Hey, Pablo, just walk over and just pull the lever." Yeah, but it's late. Just fucking do it.
And you want to keep your job, right? All right, I'll be right there.
But no.
All right.
Okay, so you guys, you're able to get
Go
to.
over to his house. Yeah.
You drive over. You get to his place. You can see a visibly annoyed and exhausted looking id.
Oh, on the way over, I'm gonna pick up my book bag with my stuff, my laptop and shit in case I need it.
Okay.
I'll probably be driving. I don't want these fools driving my car.
Man, these guys are harsh.
You unskilled buffoon! No. I don't need that. I will Uber. No.
I will Uber. Just don't have a German accent around id. All right, you pick up your stuff. You get over to id's apartment. Knock on the door. Ring the bell, and a visibly exhausted, mentally, physically, spiritually, id comes to the door. You got-
Hey! I'm gonna hug him. I'm so happy you're safe.
I hate you all.
It's like, damn, that's rough.
Best
I'll
response ever.
send in the message. The spooks are looking for you.
Oh, really? More people looking for me. Great.
They want you. And I'm gonna rub my chest.
I barely recovered from the last ass whooping I got,
Spanky,
which I barely recovered from the ass whooping I got before that.
Yes.
Spanky, you're being you, not your character. I thought he was a British international PI redhead.
Yeah. But that has nothing to do with my personality.
So he basically acts just like Spanky.
No, because I wouldn't do that. In real life, I don't do that. I've never rubbed my chest.
Dude, you talk about it all the time.
But I've
TV.
never done it.
It's either your chest or your balls.
No. That's different.
Okay.
Let's just move on from this because
So, what happened to you? Where have you been, Ed?
Well, you know, I've been here, I've been there, I've been kidnapped, I've been threatened. I don't know where to begin.
Little song,
I'd give him
little
details
dance.
of what happened.
Yeah. Last you disappeared, you were supposed to introduce me to some individuals that probably can help.
I'll write down his statement.
Oh yeah, he's part of the GSTF, right? You know this? Big bald blue guy?
I'm familiar with the big bald blue guy. Didn't y'all come to see me together? a few
Yeah.
days ago?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I was there when he was in the hospital.
Yeah, we went to, yeah.
I took his statement.
They sent another agent with some giant wolf. Don't ask me why he thought he could track in the city. I guess you really don't need intelligence to be in the JSTF because, you know, so much pollution and smog. How the hell is a wolf going to do it? But I'm not going to say that because he's still in the car.
As I take out my stun pistol and shoot. No.
All right, I gotta stop the video really quickly, but you guys can keep talking.
Okay, so what do you guys want?
Well, I came to make sure you were safe, and he came to give you some questions. And you're supposed to introduce me, hopefully after all this, to your other friends.
I'll go ahead and hold out the statement form for him to sign.
I signed a statement form reluctantly. All right, you two, come on in. Let's sit down, answer some questions, and then you leave me the fuck alone for at least the next 24 hours.
First question: why do you cause me so much paperwork?
If I have to suffer,
Until...
we all have to suffer.
That's not a real question, by the way.
That was not a very direct question pertaining to the situation where he was.
No, that was not really something I said in character.
Oh, so I'm just asked. Well, who kidnapped you? Where were you? What happened?
He said he gave us the details.
He did.
I don't remember that. I don't recall that. But
Yeah, even I'm like, he did.
I will reiterate but the details of what happens.
Thank you.
Of me being kidnapped, the German dude, and most importantly, the damn book that they want so bad.
well, the book's a new wrinkle for you guys.
I'm gonna ask. Can you describe it? Were there any symbols on it?
I'm giving them the history of the book and the headache that it's caused me.
Mm-hmm.
The cat man, the giant turtle, the fact that the book has almost killed me at least twice now.
Can I roll magic lore to see if I know of that book
Um,
or paranormal science? Religion.
you can go ahead and roll magic lore, yeah. Okay, so it could be one of several. I love that ringtone. Hold on for a second. This is Fatty. Yes, sir.
You actually made that his ringtone? Holy shit.
Okay. All right. I think he got his power back.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, yo, he's sitting
So
in
is
the
he gonna
dark.
go attack Hancock now?
Friggin'.
I just watched it again. That's the line before they break out the prison and go beat up Hancock.
I actually like that movie. I don't know why people hated it so much.
What
Ah,
happened?
I enjoy it. It's a bug out.
Yeah. My favorite is when he shoved the dude's head up his ass.
It's like your head's
Sorry
gonna go
about
up
that.
his
My
ass.
lights went out, so I might be going in and out now because it's usually around the time that these fucking lights keep doing that.
Huh?
I'm in an old building because of everybody using the goddamn.
Air conditioners.
Ah,
Damn, how old is the building?
I don't know. Don't care. Anyways, I assume you're with us.
Yes, and you
We were at Id's apartment.
yeah, you make
With
contact with Id, and you're in the middle of the conversation with a
All right.
very annoyed and very tired Id, but you don't know him, and he's just trying to regale his
Wait.
whereabouts. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So what happened in the interim between us meeting with Ed and meeting with Ed? Because I was in the middle of something.
You were researching what again?
The disc, the CD disc casing.
Okay, so do a quick rewind while I'm trying to fix these windows again. The
I know it wasn't his fault, but let's blame Spanky for that.
no, I blame him for almost
Just
everything.
because he's the redheaded stepchild.
Literally.
this works. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, so
I approve.
there were you were able to find minute markings on the outer edge of on the outer ring and the inner ring of the disc, you know, where you would pop the disc in the center, and then the outer ring you saw minute markings. Obviously there are pieces that are missing because when it broke, whatever little pieces that were where the cracks were, they're not there, but for the most part, you do notice that on the outer edgings and on the center of the disc. The actual disc, aside from the laminate where the metal would be, it's not whatever the traditional metal is for a CD. You're able to determine that it's made out of silver.
Figure. All right. So, if they have any device to be able to see the etchings larger, so I could get a clearer view of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you could under a microscope, you're able to see it. You're going to need to roll a magic lore.
Okay.
Okay, so you can't read them, but they're runes. They're
No, no,
Celtic.
no, no.
What?
It wasn't for the purpose of reading them to understand the language. It was in the purpose to recognize whatever symbols may be, so
Like I
can
said, they're runes.
write them out.
Okay, and I'm telling you. Jeez Louise. Oh my God. Yeah, so that's what you recognize them as runic.
Okay. So I'll scribe down as best as I can whatever I see,
Mm-hmm.
as I see it. Meaning, like if it's, let's say it was a sentence and it was broken in the middle, I'll write it out the way it is with the missing piece.
Okay.
Also, take note that the metal itself is silver.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else? Any other residue? Anything that would show on a different lighting, like ultraviolet or infrared, or
Now
something to
that
that?
utilizing those methods is how you came to understanding that the metal was in fact
Okay.
silver, and then you can see the etchings on the outer and inner layer, inner edges of the disc.
All right. So, well, as I finish jotting everything down, have them run copies, so that way they can keep one in their file, and I'm gonna take one myself.
You talking about forensics or someone else specific?
Anybody who's keeping a file, forensics, our chief right now, the assistant director, handler, you know, whoever's vetted in this investigation.
Okay.
I myself am going to take a copy. So when I get a chance to do some research to see if I can translate this at some future point, or see if I can receive some help translating this as best as possible, just to get an idea of what this was. My thing, it might be a spell that's been broken, but I'm not sure. And there's no, there's no remnant of magic to this, right?
The only reason why I'm going to say no is because you're not necessarily a magician or a sorcerer. You do you can recognize whether something has. What I'm giving you is the extent of what you're able to detect forensically. Is basically what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Okay.
No, that's it. That's fine.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
that's as far as your forensic ability is going to take you.
The next thing was about finding that amulet, the one that the lady had supposedly. No one seems to have found.
Right, and it's not in it's not in evidence at all.
So
It's not in. You're able to tap into the LAPD and to their database as a cooperating agency, and they did not check in anything in that was described as an amulet or a piece of jewelry.
can we receive details as to who did the forensics for that place?
Yeah, they have the name of the CSI.
All right.
Well, the CSI's name is listed. Basically, what I'm saying.
Okay. So take note of who that person is. Obviously, I can't just waltz in, to the police department. And,
Well, considering how the last time you guys did that went.
Well, outside that folly, what my thing is that once I help with this guy Morgan find Ig, see what all that deal is about, and then see if we could get access to those files directly from Ig, or if Ig knows the person that did the CSI work. See if we can ask him any questions as to having seen and not logging it in, or maybe he just doesn't remember, or maybe somebody else took over. But try and kind of fill in those details.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so fast forward, you're at Id's apartment, and Morgan's in the process. Morgan and Orion in the process of talking with him, taking a statement. Orion, very paper driven, is making sure that he signs his statement so that it is cataloged. And that's You can join in now because someone made fun of your dog.
I'm just quiet. I'm listening to everything that's being said.
Sick 'em.
So,
Okay, so this is where you guys are.
so
Wolfie's
as
hungry. Where did that kid go that was just here?
as they doing that, I'm gonna go through Id's stuff to make him like an energy drink or something if he has any items
Okay.
to help him replenish at least a little.
So I'm gonna share with Id that the incident at the Chipotle has now been classified, and we've been ordered to stop investigating into it. So any further
Yay.
checking into it that we do is gonna have to be under the radar.
Lovely. All right.
Come on.
I'm recording this. Whoa, stop! Oh,
So, excuse me, Officer Johnson, is it?
That is I.
Please forgive me for myself and my wolf here. Don't worry, he doesn't bite. He's actually well trained. May I ask if you know, and I give him the name of the CSI agent.
I can't say I do. What do you need with this guy?
Well, it deals with that same incident that Officer Orion just detailed with regards to the Chipotle incident. Not sure if you recall.
Just out of character, you can't hear that exchange. That's a telepathic exchange.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do the telepathic thing. My bad. So, all right. So, rephrasing it. Reason I'm asking is because with your incident that happened at Chipotle, I don't know if you recall the lady that attacked you.
Oh, I recall her very well.
Reason I bring that up is because of a necklace that she was wearing around her neck. It doesn't seem to have been filed or found.
Another weird necklace. What is the importance of this necklace?
Don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things we're missing here. There's a lot of information we're missing. And it seems to be stonewalling everywhere we go for what they've been talking about. If it's not this family that's called, what was that name again? Simmons. It's CIA. If it's not CIA, it's some other organization. It just seems like there's a lot of vetted, interested people in all of these things that are going on, and you seem to be the focal point of all this.
Whoa. I ain't no focal point. Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, it seems like everybody keeps wanting to come to me for some reason. Ugh.
Honestly, I can't say I'm on your side or not your side. All I know is that I'm here to help. Here to help them find you. They found you, but now we need questions answered, and I'm not sure if you can. But I mean, aren't you tired of being running around in circles like a dog chasing his tail? And I look at my wolf like, sorry.
Yeah, I definitely am. Look, if there's any way I can help you, I'll do it. But I don't think I have much more information.
Well,
It seems like we're kind of in the same position.
there is one other question, if I may. Why are they so interested in you and your captain or your superior officer, the one that you report to? He seems to be a person of interest as well.
You know what? I haven't actually thought about it, but I think you're right. There's something suspicious about him. He seems a little too eager to help me out.
Isn't that a good thing?
It is and it isn't.
Isn't that we're in?
He hasn't even questioned my hasn't even really questioned my activities like you think he. Maybe he's in on it. Maybe he's not.
I mean, what would you consider him, an ally or a threat?
Now I consider him an ally. He is helping me out. That doesn't negate any suspicion I have.
So I turn to the other two, and I go, why don't we just go to the captain and kind of settle this out? Why the cloak and dagger stuff? I mean, that's what the others do in order to try and keep secrets. And secrets right now are not our friends.
But somebody on the higher up has been keeping an eye. So if you go there, there's a chance there could be bugs, there could be other people that are undercover, and you'll probably get them fired or worse.
Which would then maybe give them motivation to come clean to what really is going on.
So I should tell you something and cause myself to die. That doesn't sound motivational.
In your head, you'll hear, "Don't give the spooks more information than you have to. They
Again,
will use it against you."
you talk about the spooks, but I mean, there's no evidence of whether they are or not. They were just people that told you to do something and you took it for their word. I don't know all the details. I wasn't there. But I mean, there's just something not right with all the information that I've gotten from you, from Morgan, now from Ed, and from everybody else that supposedly has pieces of all this puzzle, but no one's bothering to put it together.
And the spooks were standing in the room when we were talking to them. They were there.
Okay, just because they're wearing suits and they talk official doesn't necessarily mean they may be spooks. What if they're another organization altogether? What if they're working with the Simmons family altogether and just acting like spooks?
I would think they would be verified.
You
They have to show identification. You have to find
You've
out.
never had a fake ID.
No, I'm not old enough to deal with. I've never.
That's the
had
reason
that.
you would have a fake ID, because you're not old enough.
I'm 21. Yes, I'm saying as an experience. I have no need for it. So why would I want something like that?
Well, in my world, we kind of have to change on the fly. So, yeah, whatever it takes to get in through the door. You know, pretend you're a cop, pretend you're a detective, pretend you're this, pretend you're that, pretend you're a nurse. We wear many masks in order to out the evil.
But
that's what my job is.
Okay.
So, I mean, to just blindly think, oh, this is what it is, without really knowing all the details and no way of knowing the details, it's bothering me. We're missing something.
So I would suggest calling him and going somewhere. That way you can talk that way.
Well, listen, I'm here to assist. All I am is making a suggestion. I'm just was asking, why can't we just go to the horse's mouth? Or at least one of them.
We can try that. But first, let's make some contact with the other individuals that we were supposed to meet up. Ed was supposed to introduce us to.
What other individuals are these?
He had told me there's some people that he knows. That's it. Ed, AKA out of character, he's supposed to introduce us to Seraph and fucking Reyes.
Yes. Yes.
Hint, hint.
Because my character doesn't know these individuals that he said have resources.
So, with that being said, I'm gonna go sit somewhere and just kind of just there, quiet.
So I do have one last thing to add, because I couldn't talk over everybody. AD Schultz did confirm their identities. They are the competing group within the government to oversee metahumans in law enforcement.
So let's go check them out. Ed, can you please?
We
Set
get,
up a meeting.
yes, sure.
Like literally just got home. He's like, "Can we leave?"
Look, I'll give him a call. And we'll set up a meeting for later on this week. I kind of need the rest.
If
I
you
don't know if
like,
you noticed, but I have a laceration on my stomach.
I was gonna suggest you can call and set up a meeting so we can go and you can stay back and rest.
By the way,
Get us an appointment.
there is no laceration on your stomach now. You're completely healed, and that should not be the case.
And overnight, you became Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, because I bioregenerated. Yeah,
And using up all that ISP is tiring.
I still need a rest.
That's why I was suggesting that you stay home. Just call, set us up to meet them, and we can go.
Meditation.
Fine. I can call and set up a meeting. I'm still going to meet up with y'all later, but
I know you need your rest.
He needs meditation, medication, and a little bit of green.
And a side of pussy.
That would be medication.
I'm just coffee bag.
it's lovely.
Steve, you're stupid. Okay.
So if that's that, out.
All right.
I start pointing them towards the door. I mean, really rude.
Because the info calls and sets us up.
Yeah, they're banging on the door.
Uh-oh.
What now? I open the door. I go answer it.
You know who it is. She's like, "You motherfucker! You
Uh-oh.
fucking disappear." She takes that menacing step that you automatically, that one step that you're just like backing up, like, "Oh shit!" It's like, "You motherfucker! You leave me with all of your fucking shitty paperwork, and then you go and disappear. You don't answer your phone calls, your text messages. You have me worried that for the last 48 hours, some fucking Wolverine guy, some bitch just stabs you and cuts you. You end up in the hospital. I don't get a call. I'm not even your fucking emergency contact. Who else do you have in this city that you have as emergency contact? You son of a..." And then she noticed the rest. She's like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "What are these yahoos doing here? What are you into?"
Remember, I was making the drinks. I'm gonna come over smoothie, and my hand went to it.
It's like, "No,
Abby,
I'm good."
All right, Abby, have a seat.
She's
I'll
like,
let you
"Care
know
to
when
explain?"
These guys were just leaving.
Yes, if you can make that.
With that being said, I am out the door with the doggy. I'm out.
Dude,
I'm
even
leaving
your
the
wolf has
apartment,
his ears.
I'll just beam the message to him. Your wife's crazy.
So yeah,
I'll be back. It's not my wife.
even he unless you're using telepathy, he can't hear you. He can only project the thoughts. So even your wolf ears go down as it walks by her. He's like, "She's mean."
This has been a fun week, Abby. Sit down. Got a long story for you.
It's like,
Yes,
no. We're not doing that. It's that's the last thing you guys hear as the door is closing. We're not doing that. You motherfucker. All right, so you guys, Patch is the one that gets the call, and we'll do that really quickly as before the banging and the screaming. Patch, you get that call from id as you're finishing up your prep for the server.
Hello.
Hey, Patch. Look here. I got some individuals who need your particular set of skills. Want to set up a meeting? You got time this week?
This week? I don't know. I mean, you come out of the blue from like God knows for how long, and all of a sudden you want me to meet some people.
The GSTF.
Yeah, JFTF. Look,
GST.
I wouldn't JF whatever. Look, I wouldn't ask if I didn't really need this favor.
Okay. You were in some trouble or something?
But
Yeah.
I always.
Good point.
You still catching rockets with your head?
Not this time, but you know the night is still young.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't have heard about that attack because you're not necessarily plugged into local news. So, yeah.
All right.
So, who are you going to give as a point of contact? Are you going to just give them all their names or just one?
I'll give them all their names.
Okay.
And they're all part of JTF?
That they are.
The Global Superhuman Task Force, so GSTF.
JSTF.
Okay. Are you gonna meet with them today, or are you gonna set up a future date? Because that's gonna tie into what they're doing. They're literally wanting to run over to your place right now.
Right. They're not coming here.
Why not?
Oh, that's funny.
Besides my wife pulling out her old service revolver or maybe or assault rifle, you guys are not coming here.
That's funny shit.
I will meet them. I'll meet. I give them a restaurant in Chinatown, a ramen shop. Meet them there.
Cool.
Okay.
Japanese restaurant in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in LA.
Sorry.
More like a ramen shop.
Which is Japanese.
Yeah.
Which also can be a couple others, but either way. Give
Either
them the
way.
address. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, I give them the address to where to meet, and I guess I'll meet them tomorrow in the evening, because I might be up all night.
All right.
I'll let you.
So if we can, I want to go back to the if we could go back to the forensics lab where Duffel was examining the CD to see if I can examine the talisman award, if I can replicate the energy that's it's emitting. That way, I can keep my protection from this creature longer.
Say that again for me. I'm sorry.
I want to go back to the forensics lab where we were being debriefed,
Mm-hmm.
and where Duffel was examining in the lab the CD and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I can examine the talisman I was given and see what type of energy it's emitting to give me this protection before it runs out. That way, I can attempt to replicate that energy or whatever, so I can keep my protection on longer. Like if there's a way I can replicate the exact same thing for another 24 hours, I know I'm gonna have to keep doing it till I learn how to make it longer. Or I could just go back to the dude and pay him money and get it extended longer. I'm gonna do that instead. I'm gonna go take some money at the ATM. I'm gonna go.
You're stupid, Steve.
Yeah, I saw that shit. That shit was funny.
Okay. That still leaves Orion and Crimson Sage.
Well, I'm gonna ask if they can come along with me.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to talk to me.
So I'm gonna go get this talisman redone before this creature hunts me down. So I'm gonna ask. Would you like guys to come with me in case we do run into the creature and you might want protection yourselves?
I will walk with you.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, sure. I'll head with you.
We're gonna go to Voodoo Daddies.
Voodoo daddies.
Everyone head to Mojo Jojo's.
So we're gonna go to Mojo Jojo's.
Mojo Jojo's.
All right. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on you guys and then come back to the rest of the group here. So let me set my timer here. My timer.
Wow, they said Mojo Jojo's. Now I can think of all the racist
Mojo
connotations of that.
Yeah. All right. So you go back to the little Santeria shop. It's about 8 p.m. and the light, the neon light that says open is on, but the shade is drawn for all three of the window displays.
Well, see, we could walk in since it says open.
All right.
I'm worried that he got attacked. So yeah.
The door opens. You hear cling, cling, cling. Adolfo, I'm sorry, not Adolfo. I have to remember to say the names. Now, unfortunately, on Roll20, you still have Adolfo as your character name. So, hold on a second. Sage. You
Yes.
once you get to the door, like you're on the side. Once you approach the establishment, and you see Morgan, he opens the door, walks, and he starts to walk in. Your pooch, is frozen. Like you don't notice it at first because you're just walking, and then you do notice that the leash becomes extremely taut. When you look to him, his ears are flat, the back hairs along his spine are up, and his tail is down. Further examination, like that's the first thing that comes. You look, and you're like, what's wrong? And you notice that it's shivering slightly.
So give it the command to keep moving, and if he doesn't answer, then pull him back.
He moves about 3 feet and then stops cold. Now you can hear him growling.
All right, so what I commanded to move back, like in a position to be behind me.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming Orion's going in with Morgan, yes?
And
No, he's got the flute. Yeah, he's coming.
Okay.
and with that being said, give me a second.
All right, well, so while you're doing that, Morgan, you walk in and you smell that sage and incense that's burning and stinging your nostrils as before. There's no one in the store, but there's the display cases to your left and your right. Right, just glass cases. Nothing's disturbed. Nothing's disturbed on the walls. There's the candles and little statues and everything. Everything now a traditional witch doctor type establishment has. Straight down, you can see the door. Hold on a second. The archway for the back room. The door is slightly ajar, and you can see the head of a bulb poking out from from where the door is ajar, from the space between the door. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sage.
Okay, I'm going to use two abilities. One is passive, which is observer awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is it allows me a sixth sense about being observed. Here you see, I can use my detect ambush at plus 15 from whatever my skill is on normally. Whenever the master is being watched, listened to, even passively through a camera or a long range, I receive a +2 to perception and may make a perception roll when under magical or spiritual surveillance.
Okay.
However, it does not give me the ability to track or even see the observer, just the knowledge of their existence, that something is like that.
Okay, so then make a perception check, please.
Okay. And the second thing I'm going to do, well, let me make the first roll.
Walk me through both so that just in case one triggers the other.
Well, the other one is giving up attacks to do something.
Which
I'm
is
going to be giving up 2 attacks or 2 actions. So, because I'm going to use the ability of spatial memory. The master has learned how to memorize a location. This technique has 2 methods, in and out of combat. Right now, obviously, I'm using it out of combat.
mm-hmm.
Using the 2 actions or two melee attacks, the master can memorize. Hold on, let me expand this. May memorize the placement of every visible item within a 100-foot radius. This accurate picture lasts for the master's level in minutes or hours, non-combat. The exact location of anything human size or larger can be recalled automatically. Anything half that size requires a memory test at 75%. Any IQ bonuses apply. Smaller objects or specific details may require a memory test with a penalty of from -5 to -70. GM's discretion.
Okay.
Master also receives a bonus of +3 perception and +10 to prowl within the movement memorized area.
Okay.
So
All
I have a
right. So the first one
+5,
would be the perception.
7. Yeah.
I see that skill as like Denzel Washington from The Equalizer.
Yeah. 17.
Oh, is it +7?
Yeah, because I got the +2 normally, the +2 perception from the observer awareness, and the +3 from the spatial memory.
Okay. It's fortunate that you did that because you do feel that pressure. You do feel a presence.
Okay.
It takes a form of like a chill. So you just, all right, I know something's
Yeah,
watching.
that's exactly it. It's like a feeling
Yeah.
over me that I know I'm being watched.
Yes.
I just don't know where I'm being watched from, if the person's in the area or not. But what I am definitely doing, the minute that happens, I'm going to let these guys know, guys, something's afoot.
Well,
Something's-
Morgan's already inside the store, so that would leave Orion within earshot. So I'm going to give Orion a perception check to be able to stop himself from continuing into the store because Morgan's already inside.
Okay.
There would be over a 10. And no.
Wow.
So you call out to him, but he's already into the door. He's already into the store. He's out of your line of sight because remember the curtains were drawn for both the viewing windows, and from where you're standing to look, you only have a 45-degree angle, and he's already out of your line of sight.
Okay.
So that's where we are. We're going to go back to Morgan really quickly, and then I'll do it quickly back to you. That's what you saw. You saw that little bulb was on its side on the floor. The crack in the door frame, which is 30 feet away. Nothing's disturbed. Everything is as it should be. You don't see anything else in your line of sight. Just that. What are you doing?
I'm gonna turn to see if they came in the store.
Well, Orion's right behind you, but you don't see Sage.
Since the store is open and there's nothing here, I'm gonna go back out and ask Sage if he can use his dog to sniff the area.
All right. Well, that's.
Oh, his wolf.
It feels a little metagamey, but I will give you that because you didn't really go too far into the store.
Oh,
Now, at that point, they both come. At Morgan peeks his head back in, but Orion, you do see that, and I don't see his face. I don't even know if he's hearing me, but you do see the bulb on the ground, and Morgan pushes right. He doesn't push past you, but he walks past you, leaving you right there in the doorway, like 5 feet into the store. Muted. You should get a post-it note that says unmute yourself.
I said, I'll go ahead and examine the bulb.
All right. You walk across to the where it is. As you get closer, what you see is a reflection of the bulb from the ground. And it's the closer you get, you notice that the bulb is reflecting a pool of blood underneath it.
Reflecting?
The light. It's a pool of
Okay,
blood, so the light is
are
reflecting off the blood.
Are either of these like is Morgan? Does he like have the curtains open
No.
while he's in the doorway, or is he actually out?
He's out. You can see him, but he's out. He's
Alright,
talking.
well,
he's
I'll-
talking
I'll
with
send him a-
Sage.
I'll beam a message to him that there's
What's
blood here.
what's the range to that?
We never did have a range to it.
Okay,
You
so
said it
what
was
we'll
line of
do
sight.
is line of sight or 60 feet.
Because the animal one, what he's doing is similar to the mutant power of the animal, and it's 120 feet.
I don't think that's what he's doing.
No,
He,
the one you can only beam things to people, talk to them telepathically in the game, it's under the mutant animal ability,
okay.
and that's 120 feet.
Okay. Either way, you're within that distance. So he
Yeah.
tells you that there's a pool of blood there as you're talking to Sage. Now, Sage, he asks you if your dog can sniff the area. That's what happens. This is all simultaneously.
'Cause
Okay.
I don't know what the dog is sensing or nothing. So
Right.
As Morgan's coming towards me, he's gonna notice that immediately my hands are on my weapons. Right?
And he's looking around.
I'm in position to go in, and I'm giving the command to the wolf to protect. Right?
I'm gonna, as soon as I come out, I see him. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! I didn't do nothing bad. I just want your dog to sniff inside.
He's like, I'm white. Can't you see? I'm white. You should not be doing that.
So I look at him strangely when he says that, and it's like, it's not about you. It's about what's in the area. Something's not right here.
So after you, then.
Around the same
I have mace, for God's sake.
Anyways, so I walk in, obviously him completely being oblivious to him being
Which is what his character is. Oblivious.
And I'm gonna let him know, of course, that there's blood somewhere in there.
I'm not being facetious, by the way, out of character. That's the way he wrote it up.
Orion told me mentally that there's blood over there somewhere. I don't know where. He just said there's blood in here. I was like, okay. So I'm just letting you know that there's something probably bad inside. I didn't see anything from me walking in, but
So now
he seems psychic. So
now I'm walking in, weapons drawn, and looking, just scanning the area completely, taking it all in.
Okay.
If it's
It's still considered non-combat, so that's fine.
so 2 actions to do that,
Mhm.
so I get a scope of everything, and I'm gonna continue to go inside to where that blood is at, and go inside to see if I find anything afoot. Like
Okay. Well, Orion's at the door. He's at the door looking in. I'm not assuming that he opened the door. He's just standing just outside the door frame, which is like 3 or 4 feet away, and he can see it. And that's how he telepathically alerted Morgan. I don't know why I'm pointing backwards as if...
you're like, wait,
I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. I'm like, he's there. There he is. All right. Now, you come up behind him. You can see what I just described. Neither one of you has touched the door. He's in front of you. He's average height, average build. So, and this is not a huge. It's not a giant walkway where you guys can stand side by
7
side.
feet tall.
Oh, that's right. He's 7
He's
feet tall,
huge.
so he's
I'm
huge.
average.
Never mind. I take that back. He's the biggest Smurf on ever.
So I put my hand on his shoulder to get his attention.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet.
Okay.
All right, put my hand on his shoulder to get his attention.
What the hell?
When I see that he turns towards me, I'm gonna put my hand in front so I can move him back, or just gesture to move behind me, so I can then proceed further into the room.
Okay. Well, it looks like it dropped, so give me a sec here. Did he alert?
So Orion, you feel my hand on your shoulder, and then you see my hand
Yeah.
in front of you, gesturing for you to move behind me. So I can,
I'd at this point I would be drawing my my stun pistol and
I'm
Okay.
gonna pull out my mace.
and you do see in my hands my weapons ready.
yeah.
So if he does move back, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
forward.
I'll let him by, and I'll also be drawing my weapons.
Okay. think Quan will be back in a second.
And I have my slap gloves on.
You're an ass. Lou?
Hold on.
Fucking Steve. You're an ass.
I said I put on my slap gloves, you dork. Why else am I gonna hold them out?
All right.
So I could give them to the people so they can slap me? Get the fuck out of here.
He's like, here, sir. Why, thank you.
Yeah, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, man. I have another. Thank you, sir, man. I have another. Oh, shit. Sounds like you.
That's not nice.
Look,
sir.
you inept, fake, intelligent person. Shut up.
All right.
Slap him, Celine. Call him Susan.
Hold on again.
Riff's source book.
Quan had to drop.
It'll be that whole Pinky and Terrence all over again.
Minute. And look
Wait
at
a
the
minute.
a
It
movie
happened to you
poster and
too.
shit.
Wasn't he slapboxing with you?
Don't remind me. I ain't gonna lie, that was the first time in my mom ain't slapped me that much. And she used to beat the fuck out of me.
It was quite amusing.
I felt like Terrence. But yeah, continue.
Yes, give me a second.
Definitely not this book.
Damn, it was here.
Look, it's only half a man.
That's not new.
He keeps popping in and out.
You talking about the Dungeon Master graphic?
I'm above my knees.
Spanky.
Okay.
Ah. Yeah, the I think I should go upstairs and eat before I get beat up by my wife. Come on, let's go eat. We need time to think about this.
Yeah, I'm going to disconnect from the array and, well, take all the code back in. Yeah, that's just fun. And disconnect from the array. And I don't eat food. I guess I will plug into the nearest outlet. I don't know. I got a fusion power supply. Like, what am I doing? I'm
Yes.
just sitting there.
Just like
You need
Which-
energon cubes. That's
Well,
what you need.
Sitting there. No, it's worse because I have no face.
The energon cubes. What do you need a face for? You just shove it in. Like,
okay. So what we'll,
That's
we're
what
gonna
it says.
we're gonna go back to the shop. The your CSI techs show up. The vans show up. They cordon off the area, which inevitably brings on the looky loos. Were you guys doing anything prior to their arrival?
taking the tapes.
Okay.
I'm working outside of my laptop.
You're taking the tapes.
Sitting on the
So
floor.
you're not giving it to the CSI.
I'm giving them to our team, but specifically when we get to our site.
Okay.
So what did I miss?
No, I just got back to you guys.
took
Were you guys? Were you
from,
Orion? Were you
from the
doing anything
monitors,
prior to the
so
CSI
I can give
arriving?
them specifically to our team at the office.
Okay, I can't hear I can't hear what either of you saying because both of you are talking.
Yeah,
over each other.
that's
Oh,
why I
sorry.
stopped. I'm asking if you were doing anything prior to the CSI arriving.
I was making sure that the scene would be secured.
Okay. There's no one without having to roll a perception check. You just see regular pedestrian traffic here and there, but no one's just like staring like there were when Morgan was at the store. The CSI tech, the techs arrived. Sage was doing something else. We were both talking over each other. I'm sorry.
I'm taking the tapes so I can hand them personally
Mhm.
at our office because I don't trust anyone at the scene. Not that I don't trust them. It's just that the last time the CSI was here, somebody took over and then evidence got lost.
Okay.
So that's the reason behind me taking the tapes.
Okay. The lab guys come through. They're collecting evidence. They come in with the body bags, multiple body bags to store multiple pieces in, and one of the lab guys is just like he's just looking on the desk for he doesn't see anything. He sees some tapes, but they're labeled with different dates. He's like, did you guys notice if there were any missing tapes here?
I tell them yes. I'm taking them personally in to our video department.
So, sorry, I gotta bag that evidence.
I understand, but I'm personally taking care of these.
Okay. The one.
I tell them I'm personally assuming responsibility over this evidence.
Like, all right, man. He's like, well, he hands you the evidence back. He's like, can you at least label this, and when you take it
Sure.
in? All right. Now, Shiori
And
still
and then
has
he
not.
duffs you and takes him and runs out.
Right. Shiori still hasn't come into the store. Just so an FYI. She's just she's laying prone, but her ears are standing straight up. And she's just looking around, still in the direction of the store, but she's not moved. Now, it takes them like the lab techs. The lab techs are going to be there. You know from your own experiences that the lab tech, well, at least Sage and Orion do, that the lab techs are going to be there for several hours. So in that time, what are you doing?
I'm going to see if I can check the store security systems. I have basic electronics for that.
Oh my God, were you not listening to the last part of this? What are you talking about?
The security alarm, the actual security alarm, not the
Oh,
circuit
okay.
that goes
All
to
right.
the TV.
It's very rudimentary. It's one of those the strip of the security strips along the edge, the outer edge, the inner edge of the inside of the windows. There is a basic security alarm trip for the door. So the security is probably as old as the man.
All right, and I'm also gonna check if there's any information on what the store hours actually are.
Dawn till dusk. So 8 p.m., 8 a.m., 8 p.m. most days, Monday through Friday, and then the weekend hours were 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. And today is Thursday,
Okay, and we showed up at what time?
just after 8.
So 8 to 8, and we showed up just after 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta go through half a dozen little mini menus to make the adjustments to my notes document.
What are you doing, Morgan, besides sleeping?
Oh. I'm working on.
Because now, I mean, they don't since you're with Orion and Sage, none of the CSIs they don't necessarily bother to move you out of the scene. So what?
Like I said, I'm sitting in front of the store with my laptop out,
Mhm.
working on the projects that I had sent you before. So
Okay.
this is my downtime, so I might as well work on it.
Okay. Remind me what those projects were, just offhand.
I was working on. Give me a second. I gotta find the shit.
You can tell me about projects that you don't even know about.
Dude, I had like 30 projects, 32 projects.
Fire. Okay. Give me your top 5.
I gotta find the damn sheet.
32 projects. How many stories are these projects?
Well, one of them was working with
You didn't
carbon
get
and gallium.
you didn't get what I said. How many stories were the projects?
Yeah, and I live in the fucking house.
I get it now. So one of them was what?
One was working on gallium mixed with carbon to make it harder than titanium. Gallium is one of the actual substances that's lighter than air. And if you can reinforce it with carbon, which they use now, and it has heat resistance, it'll be.
So this is all theoretical then?
Yeah, but that's all theoretical. And I even have videos from YouTube and shit. I was doing research on this shit that I can send you.
No, that's fine. I'm not asking for that. I'm saying, is there anything pertaining to what you're doing now that you're researching?
I was working on creating my encryption, 1048. I'm sorry, 2048, which basically doesn't exist. So I'm working on that also. Because
you said you're a natural genius, right? That's
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Lofty goals.
I think it doesn't exist.
Well, at the moment, it doesn't. The best they have right now.
And he dropped from the call.
Come on, man. You can't buy this kind of funny. Say that again, dude. Are you there still? I saw him blink. There he goes.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh.
You froze like in the middle of the sentence.
Oh, I was deleting like fucking 100 gigs worth of shit.
Oh, that's appropriate.
I was trying to create this encryption that way. In the end, it'll work for us, and I can make a lot of money.
Profit. Unbelievable. Okay.
And that way, I can fund all the other projects I want. Like crystal storage, which supposedly is a lot better, and nanotechnology storage.
You're talking about like Kryptonian crystal storage?
Yeah, which is theory. In real life, it's theory.
Okay.
Which is light storage, which holds a lot more data. Supposedly.
Okey-doke. All right.
So look,
Hmm.
Yeah, I download the movies so I can put 100
Wow.
people on.
Not interested in your porn.
Oh, they found out I was downloading. They stopped me.
Once
well,
again.
they're busy cataloging everything.
Yep.
I am going to ask. Well, actually, I won't be able to do that. Well, yeah, actually, I'll let them know if there's anything that they find that would be of personal matters to the deceased. Um, can they catalog that separate?
Who are you talking? What are you talking about?
The
And
CSI unit.
oh, okay. Anything? What? And personal effects? You mean?
Any personal effects, meaning like notes, ledgers, stuff like that.
To catalog it separate?
Catalog is separate so that way we can have the forensic team, like when they research the taxes and stuff like that,
Yep.
to see if there's any discrepancies and stuff.
Yeah, that's all cataloged. That's all folderized. That's put in different categories. So yeah, okay, that's fine. They can do that.
All right. So that way we can see if there's any tie-ins to anything that we've been going through,
Mm-hmm.
just as a point of reference. Because at this point, we're losing more leads than we're gaining.
Damn Morgan. Okay.
Has that feeling subsided?
No. How long does it last out of combat? Is it like an hour per level?
No, that's the spatial awareness.
Okay.
Out of combat is an hour.
Okay.
But the feeling, it's passive. It just.
And if that's the case, then no, it has not.
All right. So I turn towards Orion and I let him know, I whisper, Orion, we're being watched.
I'll very low key kind of nod acknowledgement.
Then I'll walk over towards Morgan and I whisper to him the same thing.
Like, we're being watched. And then out of nowhere you hear, no, you're not.
I'm gonna look up and I was like, yeah, it's part of the creature. Because last time I saw it was here, across the street.
Well, do you see it now?
Look around. No?
No.
I guess it probably got the information it needed out of.
Because remember, that creature looked like you,
I
so
know.
he's assuming it's a creature. It could be anything.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm gonna also indicate that it took my shape. At least my image.
Well, I mean, they're familiar with that part because of your description of the id abduction, sort of.
Yes.
Sort of abduction, but okay. All right.
If we're done, I go to Orion. If we're done here, I'd like to make it back to the office.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I'm gonna get up all
with,
happy.
They're also going to have to take your shoes as evidence, by the way, Sage, because you stepped in the blood.
And you're walking back and forth, so blood is everywhere now.
I'm assuming that you're not, your character's not that dumb to just walk up and down the entire store with bloody shoes. So.
Are you sure? He did walk through the security footage, and he walked over here, and then he came out right now.
The blood was already there. There was no way of avoiding the blood if you wanted to go to see the security footage.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, outside of the room, so if they were looking for any signs of, like the one through line that the CSIs are having with you specifically is that you are contaminating evidence.
Yeah, I'll take off my shoes and give it to them.
Because they have special coverings for their feet in order to not do that. So you pretty much botched that part of the crime scene. And they're gonna have to make a note of that in the file.
Oh, where?
It's like fine. It's like and we're taking your dog as evidence. He's like no.
And you see they hand them over to the Chinese guys and they take it across the street and they put a sign up, wolf.
It's like new steaks.
So I'm gonna send him a message asking if he drives.
Me?
Yes.
It's you, and I'm asking you. Me?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Why?
I'll hand him the keys and tell him be careful. It's electric. It accelerates fast. Basically, you're driving back to headquarters.
Okay.
Just on an out of character note, it looks like an old beat up junker, but it's been specially rebuilt by me. So
Okay.
it's probably about twice as fast as a car should be.
So it's not street legal.
No, not going over the speed limit or anything like that. So
Why do I feel like
Well,
this is an Automan
I'm just-
episode?
I'm just giving him. Yeah, I'm just giving him the warning that it'll pick up really fast.
You can just see him making a 90-degree turn like Automan.
You mean like
Jeez.
Pinky?
Yeah. Okay, fellas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to get everybody's last actions before we move on. I already know that Crimson Sage, Orion, and Morgan are heading back to HQ. So that leaves Patch and
I'm
Seraph.
gonna be still working on my laptop while we're going.
Okay. I'll go over that listing at some point and let you know how where you are as far as progress.
Yeah.
So Patch has lost his head. His head, he got decapitated in the background.
Oh my God! Someone slapped him on one side. The hair went down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because from the side it looked like.
No, I'm saying with the virtual background, he went back far enough that his head completely disappeared.
Yeah,
There it is.
He's headless.
looks like Amino.
All right, so
Oh my God! A dismembered body.
so you got so Seraph is pulling all the data back, which is going to take some time. You are going up to eat, but outside of that, between now and the next game, what are you guys working on?
Well, I'm gonna have to go to this meeting to meet these people that Quan forced down my throat. I don't know why I need to meet these people.
Say, listen, you need to meet these guys. I got shot.
All right, so
You need to get shot now too. Shit.
yeah, I'm not getting shot. No, fine. So what I will do is extensively research Dr. Vanderbilt and his
Okay.
work.
Okay.
Amidst that, I'll also be looking into this human interaction thing called movies, moving pictures,
Okay.
and the Bourne series. There's apparently some movies. Somebody mentioned at some point.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All
Those
right.
are the things I'll be working on.
And you three, what are you guys doing when you get back to the HQ?
On the way back to HQ, I'm actually going to be contacting the scientist that I had contacted to help with the venom analysis
Mm-hmm.
and let them know that
Found it. Oh, sorry.
this substance has actually been classified and that I won't apologize for taking so long to get back to them.
Okay. Sage?
Handing over the tape so that we see if they can do anything with it by enhancing the image, if at all possible.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the distortion, and putting in an official request to see if there's any way that we can physically get our libraries in, or partial.
You mean your family's
We can
library?
do some research with the thing that I sketched, as far as recognizing what they may be, what if it's a warning, a spell, whatever the case is.
From the tattoo?
Huh?
From that tattoo?
The tattoo, and also now going through digging in the books to see if there's anything identifiable that can cause that type of damage that was done to the body.
Okay.
And then I have something specific to go on, possible height, possible strength, which would be supernatural. But I mean, the type of wounds that it's doing, it has to be clawed. So try and figure out what type of creature that might be.
Okay.
Shapeshift in some cases, because if it's the same one that Morgan was talking about, you know, there's a lot to go for, and we have absolutely dipshit in anything followable. So yeah.
All right.
And straws.
And Morgan.
I am. When we get back to, I'm going to work on my personal project. But when we get to the office, I'm going to see if I can replicate the energy that's emitting from the medallion and see if I can find anything. The talisman that was protecting me,
Sure.
making me high.
Okay.
If I can duplicate it, I'm going to duplicate it.
All right. Okay. So, well, we're going to stop it here. Thank you guys for putting up with our technical issues and people dropping and switching freaking frames. What is this? A PS? What are we doing?
No,
PS. All right. So, for Crimson Sage, Patch, Seraph, Id, Morgan, and Orion, we bid you a fond farewell.